puzzle. Some pieces of the puzzle have been lost forever.
And other pieces considered lost have now been found. The available pieces can be fitted together in many ways. Each generation of historians tried to put together the available pieces of the puzzle and to interpret the picture that emerges. They hope to understand not only what happened in the past, but how it happened
And why it happened. History is the witness that testifies to the passing of time. It illuminates reality, vitalizes memory, provides guidance in daily life, and brings us tidings of antiquity. Those are my words. I, Marcus Tullius Cicero, wrote over 2,000 years ago.
The people you will meet today lived long ago in places that seem far from your home.
The same sun you play in once warmed their skin.
The same earth spun them through space. The light you see from a nearby star was just leaving a star when they laughed in the night. The people of the past were like us in many ways.
As we study the past, we learn about ourselves as well. History is the story of people. A conversation between the present
And the past. But before we communicate with people of the past,
let us stand to declare loyalty to your republic. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
the blazing sun beats down.
The hot desert wind blew across a dry land.
A land between two rivers, the Tigris, the Euphrates,
A world known as Mesopotamia. The sixth ruler of the Babylon Empire, 38 centuries ago, capable, wise, and all-foreseeing, my husband, King Hammurabi. As a Babylonian king, I received 282 laws directly from the sun god, Shams. Shuaiman Hammurabi Shah Kanun Gozosh Bezabone Sarzamin Benaf Emardum. My wife just explained how I wanted to establish justice in the language of the land, promoting the welfare of the people. Mesopotamia is the birthplace of many new ideas.
writing called
Cuneiform,
irrigation
with canals,
the sailboat and the wheel,
it is an area where mathematics was born.
fractions,
Geometry,
multiplication tables,
square roots,
dividing the circle,
into 360 equal parts,
dividing the day and night,
into 12 hours each,
measuring time with 60 minutes in an hour,
in 60 seconds,
in a minute, weights and measures, and the concept of place value.
Mesopotamia is the birth of law,
The birth of astrology, money, the calendar, and the first world map.
It is the Garden of Eden, which is very much like the Meadows School. A Garden of Eden in education, in citizenship. Shuhala, Nunra Baraye, Jerogri, Azome, Yavi, Bezai, Gozosh. Mesopotamia's culture is so rich and advanced that neighboring peoples eagerly adopted it. The ancient Greeks and Romans learned from Mesopotamian civilizations and passed on their cultural heritage to civilization, it is impossible to do so without taking Eastern culture into consideration.
Cut off from the rest of the world by high mountains and vast deserts,
China's civilization grew.
with little outside influence,
The Chinese developed
the magnetic compass,
Paper money.
and silk cloth, gunpowder, the crossbow, kite, the wheelbarrow, paper and ink, noodles, ravioli, the umbrella, and
Ice cream.
all Chinese emperors followed the teachings of my husband, Confucius. My husband, Confucius, possessed sympathy for the common people, which had enormous problems, famine, poverty, and constant warfare. People wanted solutions to the disorder they saw around them. Rulers recruit philosophers like my husband, Confucius, to serve as their advisors. 我知道，如果人们以慷慨和尊重的态度行事，这个国家就会和平日和谐。I knew if people acted with generosity and respect, peace and harmony would be in the country, which is what your citizenship programs honor today. Kindness to others means doing for others what you would like them to do for you. My husband, Confucius, spent his life inspiring people to do well, to respect, and live in harmony with others. This way of thinking is found here at the Meadows School. The aim of cultivating loyalty, courage, wisdom, and trustworthiness 就是要成为一个杰出的人 and to become a superior man.
Civilization had the entire Western world in its grasp.
It imposed ideas, laws, and a single language.
Rome. The power and the glory.
She stretched across 3 continents, from Scotland to the Sahara.
60 million lived under Roman laws.
Never had the Western world been better organized or more united.
Rome seemed to own the world.
A person could walk from Egypt to France on a paved road with only a single currency and 1 passport in his pocket.
Rome is the most successful empire in history.
In her brutal grasp, she held it together for more than 1,000 years.
It is a saga
Of proud men.
and almost unending triumph.
A story of great commanders.
Warriors.
And politicians.
This is the story of those who would do anything to win it.
Yes, but before we hear of their story, our audience needs to hear from the Greek era.
I am Aristotle, considered to be the most important Greek philosopher. We Greeks invented a new way of thinking about the world.
And as king of the Macedonians, I, Alexander, one of the greatest generals of all time, conquered Greece and helped spread those Greek ideas and customs. That's when he became known as Alexander the Great. And Aristotle, you came and tutored me.
I loved wisdom, and my goal was simply to examine and understand everything.
I did help spread the Greek culture to other countries, and many of their ideas you use here, every day here at the Meadows School. Listen,
Grammar, punctuation, and paragraphing all began in
6 of the words
in the English language
are of the Greek origin.
For the Meadows third graders, your speeches you do on Friday
are known as oratory.
the art of public speaking. This too is an invention by the
Greeks. Yes, people over the next 21 centuries owe a great debt to the Greeks. But the Roman Empire is also influencing your life today.
The Romans invented the sports arena.
With tickets and numbered seats.
The Romans are responsible for the postal system,
Hospitals,
your alphabet, central heating,
hot water for baths, glass windows,
numbers, and banks.
the first emperor in Rome, Hail Augustus!
I found Rome, a city of sun-dried bricks, and left it a city of marble. Under my reign, all Roman citizens find a way to achieve the American motto, E pluribus unum, to get along with no tension. Dr. Cobley left her personal stamp on the Meadows school history by creating the good citizenship programs that achieve E pluribus unum. I, Augustus, created what all Romans crave for: Pax Romana, peace and stability. Meaning, it was good to be Roman.
The Roman army was more than just an army.
In some way, it became the heart of Rome itself.
Augustus, you're a brave man, strong man, jealous for the enemies who feared your might. Got a hero in your heart, played your part, was a great general from the start. Augustus, you're a statesman, great man, able to restore peace at the civil war, at a city of stone, left it Rome. Now we have a home to call. We will conquer. We will conquer.
Pressure mounted on every border. For the first time, the Roman Empire was on the defense. Wave after wave of barbarians, foreigners wanted a place in the empire for themselves. Little by little, the dam had sprung not one, but 1,000 leaks. Rome's great era of peace and prosperity was just a memory. Roman legions were no longer the invincible fighting machine that conquered the world. It was the beginning of the end.
Less than 100 years,
After the invasion of the barbarians,
the history of a kingdom of gold.
plunged into one of iron and rust. great confusion throughout Europe.
known as the Dark Ages.
The secrets of Roman civilization.
Were almost forgotten. Few people had money, and the government and laws of the Roman Empire had disappeared.
Someone needed to improve conditions.
On Christmas Day in 800 AD, that someone was me, Charlemagne. I am the most famous ruler of the Middle Ages. My contribution to the modern world was establishing traditions that have shaped European royalty for centuries. My reign also started a revival of art, literature, and education. I established 3 schools that were open to any boy, regardless of how little money he had. Sorry, ladies, your education doesn't happen for another 1,000 years. I attracted the best teachers and students in Europe. My reign was short-lived, but it was glorious.
Beginning in Italy in 1300s, one of the greatest cultural movements of history began.
The Renaissance. This was an age filled with accomplishments. In mathematics, the symbol including the plus, minus, and equal sign are first used.
Eyeglasses are invented. They become really popular after the invention of books. For the first time, people cut their hair with scissors. Watches are invented, as well as buttons,
Mirrors,
a thermometer,
and the fork is a new addition to the dinner table.
During the Renaissance,
It is still a world controlled by men. And yet there is one French peasant girl.
with very little education that has been immortalized as a military leader.
And a saint.
Bonjour, le Petro. I am Joan of Arc. When I was a little girl, I heard the voices of 3 saints informing me I had a great mission to fulfill. Incredible as it may seem, she was still a teenager.
And yet persuaded her French king to give her an army.
So I learned English off my homeland. In 1429, against all odds,
She led the French to victory.
that was almost 600 years ago. But my life was cut short when I was captured and executed, burned at the stake.
Thousands of people still turn to Joan's story.
In my brief but powerful life, I found the help I needed to remain true to whatever rose to the voice within me.
In 1920, the Roman Catholic Church
Admitted Joan of Arc
to the catalog of saints. In our modern world, the civilizations of ancient Mesopotamia, the Greeks,
The Roman kingdoms, the Middle Ages,
and the Renaissance seem very old and far away.
but they are as close as the words we speak.
The subjects we value and the dreams we cherish.
Perhaps no better epitaph for the civilization can be found than the words of the Roman poet Virgil.
While rivers shall run to the sea, while shadows shall move across the valleys of mountains, while the heavens shall nourish the stars, always shall your honor, in your name, in your fame endure.
All over the world, history is literally
Beneath your feet.
We'd like to thank the Ford family who has left their personal stamp on our program.
And thank you to Mrs. Gamazzo and Mrs. Ramo and Miss Valentin for promoting and establishing the language of music and dance. And finally, a thank you to our parents for enrolling us at the Meadows School, which is a garden of Eden in education and citizenship. And also someone who has left their personal stamp at our Meadows School history.
Assist Ruling Monarch, Miss Kennedy, we who are about to leave the lower school, Benny,
Bookout program. I feel like I was just transported to a theater in a big city. My goodness, that was amazing.